Hi, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have a list of 9 properties plus 2 more on the Oakville system. And so what happens is we pull information from 2 different real estate boards which happen to overlap. Most agents are not part of both boards, but it's the only way we can make sure you get everything. And so if you want to get connected to that system, really get information at the same speed we get it, we can plug in if you want a condo or detached or only in town or even just like Milton, Georgetown, Burlington, Oakville, if you want all kinds of areas, not just Milton. 7 days a week, what the system does is it'll go in, it'll sift and sort for criteria. So if we say 3 or more bedrooms, 4 or more bedrooms, it'll look at everything that's new or had a price change, and it will email you immediately. So if you want to get started on that, it's very simple. You go to homefinderprogram.com, and I'll put a link down below as well. Let's get started with this list. We've got the first one up is Stemmons. So it's a sumac corner around the mid 1,300 square feet. Great choice for a first-time buyer. Some of these models have even sold in the 380s. And so this one's at $379. There's a main floor den, then you've got living, dining, kitchen, and then you have 3 bedrooms upstairs with 1 full bathroom. Then there's a powder room on this level. So this is that little main floor office. It's too small to be a bedroom. It's probably even a little cold, but can be a good home office. You probably want to put a space heater there. It does have venting. It's just we find that the first floor is a little chilly. I don't even know if replacing the door might make a huge difference there. But that's your main floor. Kitchen overlooking the dining, and then you've got your family just around back. This is the family room right there. It's a pretty open concept layout. The 3 bedrooms upstairs. And then you've got laundry in a small area coming in from the garage. This home has the least amount of storage for any of the village towns. So it's something to consider. The garages are a little bit bigger. You know, it seems like a pretty fair price given what else is sold. Cargill is $412,900. Also a pretty attractive price. This one has 2 full bathrooms upstairs, 1,370 square feet, open layout. It's a very popular model because it has all those nice things. And recently we've seen a lot of homes even with the only 1 bathroom upstairs that's, you know, asking this price or above. So I think this is really good. This model typically, sorry, I'm just going to shut my phone off. This model typically is, you know, like they're listing for $419, $422, $425. This is a more basic version, but I'd rather come in here. Some people say, well, it doesn't have a hardwood. Doesn't matter. Put it in yourself. The turnkey, move-in ready, stunning properties are selling for big premiums right now. So if you're able or willing to do a little bit of work, you can oftentimes be rewarded. Joyce Boulevard is $429,900. And so I still like the one we showed on Willow in the last 48 hours. I like that one as being, it's actually one of the best deals in Dorset Park I've seen in a while. This one is still entry point. You've got these nice exposed beams here. There is a way to paint the wood and melamine to make it look a little bit more modern. If you go to IKEA, you're probably like $100 a linear foot to replace your kitchen. So if you gave me $5,000 in this kitchen, there's still a lot that I could do with that budget. Bit of a mismatch on the flooring here, parquet upstairs. It's a corner lot, and it's got the gas heat too. There's some homes on Joyce in this little pocket that still are on electric baseboard heat. So I like the price here. I like Willow better, but this is still quite competitive. Prosser's $445,900. Hillsview End, 1,510 square feet, very similar to that Emery model on Cargill, but just a little bit more space. Like, for example, a lot of these have a laundry upstairs. There you go. It's a good floor plan, solid. I would expect a few more upgrades for the same price that they're asking. So, but the end unit is people say it's like a semi. It's not like. It means you're attached only on one side. A semi is a semi, townhouse is a townhouse. It will always be that way, but you do have the nice ability to really have, you know, nobody on the one side. So Hepburn is $529,000. It's around 1,700 square feet. It's got the 4 bedrooms, but it's a small 4 bedroom. Front dining room plus family and kitchen in the back. Couple pot lights. They've replaced some of the vanities in here. The ensuite's a little bit small, and they've got a bit of landscaping. I don't think they'll get $529. I've seen larger homes than this with finished basements that have struggled to get up into this range. So I think they're probably just going to sit there. Same with this one on Bustle. Not a bad looking home. They've got a granite counter in the kitchen. It didn't really show you that in the pictures. Hardwood floors, finished basement here with a bit of a kitchenette. I don't know why they wouldn't have put a stove in there. It doesn't, even on Kijiji, a white stove is probably a couple $100. It's always a good idea to put appliances in. And you've got forest behind, but here's the thing. Behind that forest is a train, and you can still hear the train. And the bottom line is, larger homes without trains have been selling in this range. It's hard for a single garage to get up in the $590 range, because at that point you have a lot of selection for double garages. For example, one on Marshall, I told you the square footage of this one, 1,800 square feet. The one on Marshall was 2,400 square feet with a finished basement and a double garage, and they sold at $599. So this one here, good luck, but I don't think it'll go anywhere. I just don't feel like that's the right price. I feel like they're going to sit there too, and you've got to be competitive, especially in December, January. It can be a great time to sell because there's not a lot of competition, and the buyers who are out there can be very motivated. If you're shopping for a home in mid-December, you're not a casual browser. You want to buy a house, so it can be a really good time to sell, depending on what else you're competing against. But anyway, you got to put it at a fair price. Marcellus is at $599. I just think the expectation for buyers is you're going to need a few more upgrades in this price range, especially being the smaller detached double garage with only 3 bedrooms upstairs. Typically at $600, you start to see either the larger ones with 4 bedrooms in this kind of condition, or you're seeing this home but with more, with like a newer kitchen, with hardwood floors, with some of those kind of things. I don't know. I think they'll have a bit of a tough time. There was one on Sire that was a 3-bedroom finished basement, was not in very good shape, at least in my opinion, that got in the $530, $540 range, not far from this one in the neighborhood. So anyway, Valley View $789. There's been kind of a glass ceiling on Valley View. None of them have sold really over $750, and there's been some really nice places backing onto Ravine. This is a beautiful home. The kitchen is impressive. There's no doubt about that. But it's missing some of the features that the other ones have had. This is a big side split home too. It's got a ton of space. There is a lot. If you're a big family, there's a lot of living space in this one. And there's your yard there. 157 by 113 is a big, large corner. The one, it's a very similar layout to this one, right at Laurier and Valley View, facing Laurier, which they take a bit of a hit for, with a nice pool, with some really nice redos in the bathrooms. The kitchen wasn't too bad. They were in the low sevens, so $789 on this one. It's a better location than Laurier, but I don't know. I just don't see it. The other thing that is missing from these photos, it might be in the virtual tour, I didn't check, but an in-ground pool. That's a huge value booster for the right person, and they haven't even shown that in the pictures. So I know that it's winter. It's probably not a pristine blue color, but at least show that it's there. I think you have 20 photos. I think they'll have a tough time with this one. But I'm wondering, if the pool's not there, what else are we missing from a value standpoint? This one on Steeles is right on the corner of Steeles. There's the little sort of downhill slope. There's the escarpment right here. So the escarpment goes like this. It's this property right here. It's almost 11 acres. And you've got Kelso Quarry Park right here. Yeah, very nice stuff. I mean, it's a great location. Even land value alone, if you calculate it, it's probably just over $200,000 an acre. That's probably not that far off, really, when you think about what this area represents. Just down the hill, you're in Milton. You're very close to town. Even something like this, the floors are a little bit damaged. You can get a company called Mr. Sandless to come in, probably for around $1 a square foot. You can have that wood pop right back to life. So I don't know how much work it would take to get this one back in shape. There's obviously a lot of damage on the floor right here. You'd be amazed what that company has done. MrSandless.com. There are some electric baseboards in here, but predominantly I believe it's an oil heat. There's some outbuildings here. I mean, I could see this one taking, certainly waiting a while to find the right buyer because it's so specific, but I do see a lot of promise here, and for this land, it's worth something. It's also in the Niagara Escarpment Commission area, so you have to go through them for any, let's say you want to build an addition on this home or anything else, you'd have to go through that organization. So that's at escarpment.org if you have any questions. We've got two more on the Oakville Milton. Weston Drive is $469. End unit townhouse and nice big yard with a lot of separation. So a little more basic inside, but it has a good floor plan. Overlooking the family room in the back. A lot of the homes today, what they do is the kitchen walks out to the back. They've kind of flip-flopped the way this one is set up. So a lot of times you'll see kitchen with an eat-in on basically on that side with the walkout, and then you'll see the family room on the other side. Side by side, this one's one than the other. And I kind of like it. It's something different. You get the peak ceiling here. It's not very wide, so that's one thing, is you have to be careful with the scale of your furniture. And then if you think about how far it is, there's you sitting on the couch. Look how far your TV is. So if you're a big TV watcher, you might have to sit a little further from it. And then you've got your 3 bedrooms upstairs. Big property here. And if anything, the concern I'd have is that it's pretty close to the train tracks. Like, you're really at the tippy tip of Weston Drive before you start hitting those tracks. So that might interfere with the value, but I think they chose the right price. I think that seems like a very good price. $509 for this one on Lord Simcoe. So keep in mind that one on Joyce. This is the same neighborhood as Joyce. They've done some work in the kitchen. Why they didn't put appliances, I have no idea, but it definitely helps, because the closer you can get something to move-in ready, the better off you are, as buyers don't have to. Every time there's something that a buyer looks at that they need to do, they're going to go, well, new appliances, that's probably $8,000. It could be half of that, but they're always estimating on the high side, which means price point keeps coming down more and more. So if you can solve the problem and put something in at the right level for the home, because it doesn't make sense to put in amazing appliances in you know, starter townhouse, and at the same, I've seen this happen too, where it's like an $800,000 house and they're cheap appliances that don't even fit in the right spaces. You got to play to the level of the house and be a value shopper, because there's sales on appliances all the time. I don't know what to think of this one on Lord Simcoe. It's kind of a, you know, 509 might happen. It's a little hard to tell from this one. It's a 50 by 120 foot lot, which is kind of standard in the area. It has a kind of an interesting curb appeal. I don't know. Let's see what happens with it. You know, the nice thing about this one is it looks like it has a bathroom on the main floor, 4-piece, that's a semi-ensuite between the master, and then there's also another bathroom downstairs. Let's see, bungalows are in high demand. So that's it. That's the list for today. If you have any questions, give us a call at 905-693-9346. Talk to you later.